Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Dugout. Yes, we now have a 3-day lull after the Monday. After Monday, I think this is the second time that we have had a non-match day.
That's right.
Yes, and apologies yet again for coming late. I think we have to do some havan because whenever we want to go on time, something or the other crops up by which we are just not able to go on time. We assemble here by 6:55. Everything is given. Everything is
Today
done.
things were quite literally a little fluid.
Oh yes, but it was fluid. But then I don't know what happened. I mean, whenever we come, everything is ready. Either technology gives way or the lights give way. Something or the other comes up, and I tell you, we have to really do havan in this place so that we come on time on a lot of occasions. But then can't blame anybody.
But right now the Indian team needs to do Havan.
No, why? They are enjoying in Dubai and they are just gearing up what has been a dominant. They'll just add another dominant chapter today when you look at it because.
What could the enjoyment be like, Siddharth?
I hope it's not water sports. Apart.
No, it won't be water sports. Don't worry. Once bitten, twice shy, my friend. Ahead of a major final, you wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fishing, cruise, maybe you can have dinner on
Golf,
the
I
cruise.
believe.
But do they play golf?
Yeah.
Most of the Indian players. I
No,
know that
Indian players don't.
UV plays a mean
Everybody who
golf.
leaves plays starts playing after leaving the sport.
Yeah.
In this team,
Nobody plays. Nobody.
And honestly, I haven't traveled.
Kuldeep does.
I think he's a football guy.
No, he watches football.
he watches football.
Yeah, a
He
lot, but-
follows the Premier League
Yeah,
very
but he
closely.
plays.
Well, I haven't traveled with the Indian team.
Shreyas
at all.
Iyer as well, I think. Yeah.
I haven't traveled with the Indian team at all to know what they do on their off days. So once I get a chance, if I am there at that point and they are having an off day, I can then tell you. Hopefully someday, how do they perform? What do they do on their week offs? But yes, a 3-day gap. I don't remember when it was. I think in the World Cup semi-final of World Cup 2019, we had a 3-day off
I can't
before the
remember
semi-final and the final.
Can't remember.
2023 also I don't see because I think the
15-16 were the semi-finals,
See,
both semi-finals
22nd
on
India
23rd.
played,
Which? 23
no,
World Cup you are saying,
we're talking
na?
about 23, Siddharth.
23.
The 15th November, 16th November were the semi-finals and the final was on
19th.
19th. Yeah.
2-day gap. Okay. Here we are having a 4-day gap if you look at it. 5th, then 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th you're playing on the 4th day.
But the reason for that is I think and it is also logical as well because not just Dubai, because the tickets were also not on sale for the final until and unless India
Just couple of
semi-final
days
took
back.
until and unless India semi-final did not finish, the tickets could not have been live. So the tickets went live day before yesterday as soon as the match got over, and then it was the same system to book the tickets because I know somebody who's going for the final. So the system was same. You had there's a queue that you have
Yeah,
to
I
wait,
know.
and then you have to
I got the link as well.
yeah.
But
Oh,
didn't
is
care.
it?
Those
But
tickets.
didn't care to tap on it.
Okay, I didn't get the link. I don't know. I mean, you've got a lot of you've got connections in the right places to get you that link or that line. I don't.
Just the link, Siddharth, not the ticket.
Yeah.
It could just
A
happen.
true
But
connection
people-
will get you the ticket.
No. People have gotten the tickets as well.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was a big problem this time. I didn't hear from anyone about anyone facing any issue with regards to tickets. I think because it came in very late, and also the tournament has been such, I believe, that it's anyway failed to attract a lot of people. Hopefully now though we'll see the highest attendance that we've seen so far in the tournament, and
Yes, because see, even in India, Australia,
People turn up.
semi-final didn't fill you seats.
Yeah.
There were some empty seats that were there at this stage. Yes, people may want to give it a spin that yes, most of India's games have been sold out. But I don't think in India, Bangladesh, I could clearly see that there were a lot of empty seats.
India Pakistan wasn't a full house.
It wasn't a full house. So
it
was
wasn't
India,
even like the
Australia.
tickets aren't available.
true.
So, yes, we are reaching a conclusion to what has been, you may say, a very strange and peculiar Champions Trophy. But it's the final. India have reached there. And it's been a dominant display from India. The only team who have not lost a single game in the ICC Champions Trophy 2025 so far. New Zealand, as we know, they lost one game to India in Dubai. And you're going to see them in action pretty soon on March 9th. November, why?
Ninth.
Yeah,
Again,
I mean,
it's
9th March, I think there is a certain bit of, you may say, inevitability about it. Because India versus New Zealand, it's the clash, which is, you may say, 25 years in the waiting.
Yes.
2000 Champions Trophy, you saw India and New Zealand clash for the very first time in an ICC event in the final. And we all know that New Zealand won that encounter. Then semi-final, they added one more layer of pain, and MS Dhoni said that on August 15, 2020 at 19:29 hours, consider me retired. And then after that, India got their revenge. But New Zealand are a very tricky opponent, because if you look at ICC CT plus ODI World Cup, it is 6-6. 6-6 in total. And that's why the dugout topic at this stage, what we are all discussing is that, do New Zealand have the firepower? Do they have the wherewithal to stop India? Do you think, straight away, let us get to the chase. Do you think that New Zealand have the capability to upset India even in the final? Looking at, as Nikhil quoted, and you thought it was a serial name, Mano e Mano. Do you think New Zealand have that particular capability to upset India, or do you think it's a foregone conclusion?
See, it can't be said it's a foregone conclusion. You can't say that about any game of cricket. I think on a day, who thought in 2007 Bangladesh will do to you what they did? So anything can happen. Who thought that Netherlands not once but twice, if you thought the first time upstaging South Africa was a fluke, then they did it the second time. Who thought Ireland beating Pakistan would also
2007.
Yes, would also be something that could happen. Nobody gave that a chance, but it happened. So, and this if it were to happen, and this is in comparison to all these instances that I named, this is far more conceivable to happen than any of those instances happening. So I'm not putting this past New Zealand, and I don't think the Indian team will be making that mistake either of taking this New Zealand team lightly, because there are a few clever customers in their side, and you will really have to play good cricket to be able to beat New Zealand. To answer the question whether they have the wherewithal, I think the answer is yes. New Zealand will be no pushovers. Yes, you won the match, I think, by 49 odd runs. 44. When you played them in the group stage, but it could again be a match where you will be tested in a few phases, as was the case in the group stage match as well, until you got the wicket of Kane Williamson, who was looking good. You thought that the match was in a bit of a tense situation. So you will again be tested. And the one thing, even though India have been on the right side of the result last 3 times now in ICC competitions that the two sides have met, talking about the 2 in the ODI World Cup and the 1 instance right now in the Champions Trophy, when I look at all 3 instances, New Zealand were always in the game. Yeah. At no point can you say New Zealand weren't in the game. Even when you asked them to chase 398, they were in the game at one point, and you had your heart
by 70 runs, yeah.
You had your heart in the mouth. So yes, I do believe, have the wherewithal, and India will have to play some very good cricket to be able to win. It's not like this is ours for the taking. You can't be saying that.
Yeah.
Again, I feel that during the first encounter where India faced New Zealand, I think New Zealand were a little less prepared. I think they weren't expecting the challenge of 4 spinners coming their way. Yeah. And I think that sort of backfired on them. Again, I think they did restrict, I think just 20-30 runs less what India scored. If that would have been the total, maybe the game would have gone in another direction. But I think more or less their plans, they were on spot as far as the bowling was concerned. Batting, I think everything went downhill as soon as Kane Williamson got into that shell. And the reason for that was that India threw in 4 spinners, and all of them actually sort of did not let Kane Williamson move that much and did not let him score his shots, score runs and score his shots freely. So I think when they come here for the second time, I think they will be much better prepared. We saw Kane Williamson. It's not like Kane Williamson can be only the anchor. We saw yesterday when it was required, when he needed to keep his foot on the accelerator, he did that. So I think that they'll be much more prepared. And very honestly, for me, the game starts 50-50. I'm not keeping any of the team's favorites, not even India, despite the fact that India might be starting favorites for both of you, I'm pretty sure. But I still feel that I will never count New Zealand as a less side, specifically in knockout games.
See, for me, I understand where it's coming from. Yes, New Zealand have been a very troubling side for you in ICC events. As I mentioned, the record 6-6 in ODI World Cup and CT combined. It's 6-6.
And that, when you talk about that statistic, it must also be said in the same breath that the 2 ICC titles that New Zealand boast of having also came against India.
Imagine there are 2 ICC titles. Whenever they played India in the final, it's 2-2.
Yeah,
When
one
they
was
played
4 years
against-
back,
Yeah.
the other was 25 years back.
And other teams, when they face in the final, they've lost all 4 times. So somewhere down the line, yes, it's 2-1 when you look at the knockouts in ICC events. New Zealand, as I mentioned, 2000 and 2019. India got their own in 2023 in that semi-final. So it's 2-1, and heading into this, India can make it 2-2. But also I'm looking at it. When I look back at past instances of a team facing the other in the same edition of the Champions Trophy, 2006, Australia, West Indies. West Indies won the first game, but they lost the final. Pakistan versus India, 2017. Pakistan lost the first game, but they won the final. New Zealand and India are playing for the second straight time in the same edition. Lost the first game, New Zealand. Will New Zealand do it? And I think they are capable because, see, first match they couldn't adapt to it because I think they came.
This is exactly what you and I didn't want in terms of the opponent, right?
Yes.
So Sashwat's giving a 50-50. Our percentages need to be different.
Exactly, yeah.
But I think, see.
For you, New Zealand should start favourites.
No,
No.
not really. I mean,
That was just to say between the 2 opponents, who would challenge India more. And that's why we said that New Zealand would challenge India more, and that's why you didn't want New Zealand.
I think even if there would have been South Africa, I still would have kept it 50-50. When it was coming down to choosing, I was just going on that batting. I think both the teams have an equal threat over India. It was just that with South Africa, I felt that their ability to play spin was a little more, not even better, just a little more attacking as compared to New Zealand. I think they have much more firepower. Both their middle orders, I think, play spin really well. It was just that South Africa, I thought, was a little more attacking.
Because we're talking about that, the particular contest, what is it that we feel? Let's try spend some time about it. What do we feel is that one factor that works to the advantage of the team, the respective team?
Okay.
For India, New Zealand, let's go with Sashwat. What do you think is perhaps that one big advantage that New Zealand have going into the competition, or the biggest strength?
I think their confidence of themselves and not having fear of losing the final. I think they've gone down that road. They know that even if they lose, there is nothing much to lose in that sense. If we just look at the broader perspective, who has more to lose over here? I think it is the Indian team who has more to lose. So that fear of failure, if comparatively, I think New Zealand will be under less pressure than India, and I think that is the advantage, and that is a very big advantage in the final.
See, New Zealand.
Because I think the pressure will be on New Zealand as well. This is where I sort of have a little bit of a disagreement, because they've actually come into finals just as much as perhaps India would have over the last few years.
Yeah.
And they've had greater heartbreak. They had a heartbreak in 2019. Okay, India had it in 2023. But they also made it to the final in 2021, New Zealand, and were downed
Same
over there.
conditions here, yeah.
Sorry?
Dubai. They played in Dubai.
Yes, and it happened in Dubai. That's
Yeah.
right. So, yes, they won the 2021 WTC after that, but they also lost to India in the semi-final. So I believe there's some course correction that New Zealand also need to do, because they're also much like India, getting into the final stages and not quite lifting the title. So they're facing the same sort of issue that was India's Achilles heel, or the biggest question for India, if the 29th of June hadn't happened last year.
Yeah.
So it comes with its own pressure, right?
See, there is pressure. Let us make no mistake about it. New Zealand
New
might
Zealand.
not be showing the pressure, but there is immense pressure for both teams. India in particular, the weight of a nation is
Exactly.
absolutely huge. I mean, look at it. Look at your star powers in Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. Their legacy was to be defined with the T20 World Cup win, and their legacy was defined. Virat Kohli's completed the set when you have to look at cricket ICC events. Rohit hasn't. A ICC Champions Trophy win will further cement two things. One, Virat's white ball legacy will forever be remembered as the greatest. Rohit will be on par with MS Dhoni, although he hasn't won the World Cup.
But Rohit might be playing for his career as well when he comes out for the final. That is something that maybe even a Kane Williamson to a certain extent might be, but again, I feel that he anyways will be saying goodbye. But with Rohit, it is that his ultimate dream is to win that World Cup, not even the Champions Trophy. So he knows that if results don't come his way this time around, then maybe that would not, we cannot say with full certainty if he will be leading the side during the 27 World Cup as well. And not just with him, I think many more players, we know after this a fresh cycle will start. So maybe the players who haven't impressed that much, maybe they will fall out of, because you might want to get in a Yashasvi as well moving ahead, maybe of Arshdeep as well ahead. So lots of players might end up playing their last ODI tomorrow, if on Sunday, I'm sorry, if India doesn't lift the cup. But if India lifts the cup, I think everything will just move in autopilot mode till 27.
Okay, Siddharth.
I think, see, there is immense pressure. Like I said, you have to cement the legacy of two of your finest, okay? Yeah, I think Rohit, if he wins the Champions Trophy, there is no reason why he will not play 2027, the World Cup. Because he's not going to play that many ODIs. I think his test career might be stalled. Let's make it very clear. I think he may not be there in consideration for the test series versus England. So if he's only playing ODI cricket, then I think there is no reason as to why he cannot play until 2027. Virat, on the other hand, we never had doubts that yes, will he play until 2027? I think he will play. But yes, if India lose on 9th, then the calls for them to go will increase even further. And
Both of them.
yeah, you would want a fresh cycle. And see, there
For
isn't
Rohit in specific.
more Rohit than even Virat. See, for
But Virat has
example,
scored runs.
but again, you have not won the title. That was the same thing in the ODI World Cup also. Both Virat and Rohit were your number 1 and number 2 run scorers. Yet you
Maybe
didn't win.
even for a Jadeja, I think lots of questions will start rising on
even
the
for
Jadeja.
Jadeja, I think it's just he is also on his last stages as an international cricketer when you look at it. Because if he doesn't get picked for England or if he doesn't play in the home series, I think he's also done when you look at it. So yes, there are retirements.
When are you playing ODIs next? England.
I think you're playing against Bangladesh in August. 3 ODIs, I think you're playing against them. So that is why you're playing then.
But anyway, your strength for New Zealand?
I think, as they say, man to man, skill for skill, they are the closest that they'll match to India. Because what we were wondering with the Australian bowlers, they didn't have the experience, but their spinners also, they didn't have the backup to Adam Zampa. But in the New Zealand case, it's not that. You've got a Mitchell Santner, you've got a Glenn Phillips, you've got a Michael Bracewell, you've got a Rachin Ravindra. Rachin Ravindra, for example, scoring 100 and taking wickets. He's one of the very few to do it in ICC events. So Ravindra is
All centuries in ICC competitions.
Yes.
All
So
but
that is why-
5 of them, I think.
Yeah. 3 in the World Cup.
And 2.
Yeah, I think he hit against England, he hit against Australia, and one more I can't remember who he hit against. So yes, 2 in this T20, in this Champions Trophy already. So skill for skill, man for man, New Zealand match India. The only way where you can say is, okay, what about impact? If a Williamson fires, then I think New Zealand's batting goes up another notch. Luckily, Ravindra didn't fire against India.
He
in
does
the
have
game.
good memories of this venue
Yeah.
with the bat, because I think he scored some 86 or
85 against Australia.
in the final, and he looked very good that day.
Yes. If New Zealand's batting fires and they tackle the spinners well, then I think India, remember, there are 2 things. One, you haven't lost in Dubai yet. Okay?
Ever.
Yeah, you haven't lost in Dubai in an ODI. Is it going to happen on March 9th? Then we don't know. Because somewhere the law of averages will catch up.
See, the law of average theory, Siddharth, it has its own limitations.
10 you won, you lost the game.
Yeah, but it was a 10-match tournament. You know, you went on a 10-match run as well. You played the 11th match and you lost the 11th.
Yeah.
This was just half of that. So, and you have seen teams form winning streaks, right? India also have had winning streaks. We also have one undesirable winning streak right now, and that's the one at the toss.
Yeah.
And you want that to break in the...
Which
No,
could
you've
happen.
been winning. Why do you want it to break?
It is
You're
very
winning the
crucial
match.
though. But it is very crucial for
But
you
if that
to
streaks
win.
ends that day, then maybe other streaks end too.
But that's the only
That's
streak
why I
you
want-
want to end on Sunday. You don't want the other streak.
No, don't want any streak
no.
to end. Let all the
Plus-
streaks go.
No,
As
plus
it is.
there is
Ashwin-
one more factor.
But-
More factor.
I would want to win the toss against New Zealand. Yes, we won the group stage match, but even then, I would say, let's not again be hopeful that we can pull off a chase every now and
No, but
then.
this is an interesting thing. We can touch upon this as well. That what do you, because we were discussing about this yesterday as well. Maybe I think upstairs only, that there's no certain trend in Dubai as of now
The one
to chase
trend-
first or bat first. But
the
India has
one
looked
trend-
comfortable in.
the
What
one
would
trend-
you? Yeah. What according to
I
you?
would still want to bat first.
And
for
the
the
reason being?
For the simple reason that the numbers do point to the fact that batting second becomes difficult, and reason
Difficult?
and yes, not every team can chase. Yes, India have done it on two.
No, but numbers, if I'm not wrong, Shadvi sir suggests that Dubai
Is that
chasing
it's almost even,
ground.
Siddharth, you're talking
Now,
this is-
yeah, that's why.
just 3-4 matches here and there. It's about 22-17 now that's the trend. Before, at the start of the tournament, it was 15-19.
Yeah.
So it's only changed a little bit. My thing being, because the spinners are extremely effective in the second innings, and numbers suggest that. As I was telling you, 42 the average for spinners in the first innings vis-a-vis 24 or 26, something in that territory. So that's a big gap. And I don't want New Zealand spinners to be getting that advantage in these slow conditions if they are to bowl second. They are a good side. They are smart cricketers. Glenn Phillips can be smart with the ball. So can be a Bracewell, a Mitch Santner. Let's not even start talking about him, like, because we know how lethal he can be. So I don't want these guys to be bowling in those
But
conditions.
it was New Zealand only who pushed India to bat first after winning the toss that day. Before that, India was fielding second. So what suggests that now if New Zealand win the toss, they will not want to do the same and actually change it this time and choose to bowl first?
I'm glad
Because
I'm
even
not the
they'll-
captain in the Champions Trophy.
Because even
Dubai.
they'll want that. Now that their spinners should get help in the second innings now.
Yeah.
So they'll also choose to bat this
But again,
time.
the pitch will be different, na? A new pitch, we don't know what it will be.
Because
That's
that
the
day,
problem.
that day also they decided to bowl.
Sunny
first.
ji also just said right now, you're looking at India playing with 4 spinners.
Yes.
And I think without having a look at the pitch, while we said that, there were so many reports which had said at the start of the before, in fact, the semi-final, that it's a bone dry wicket.
Yeah.
That's what a few commentators had already said on social media. And I don't see Dubai changing too much. Yes, it'll be a new strip, but for 2 matches now in succession, India have gone in with Varun Chakravarti. They've had that extra spin bowling option.
Yes.
And I don't see that changing now. If New Zealand are to take something away from their loss and takes a leaf out of India's book, they would want to pad up on as many spinners as possible.
Correct.
Is what I have just a sneaky feeling about.
Yep.
We've seen 2 fresh pitches till now. I think the one against Pakistan and one
semi-final.
one in the semi-final. And on both occasions, I personally didn't feel that the ball was turning that much. Even during the semi-final, there wasn't that much help for spinners. But still, because again
It was getting slow, Sashwat.
it was getting slow, but
it wasn't
but
turning.
it
I
was,
agree with
but it
you.
wasn't that, because see, again, I remember, I'll tell you what, because before the game, during the pre-match show, we all predicted that 250 might be a winning total. But during the mid-innings, they scored 260 odd. We still were thinking that maybe these are 20-30 runs short. So that means that
But
perception of the pitch also
what makes
changed.
me say that India would want to bat first, or any team would want to bat first,
Score
because
good pressure.
yes, also look at Shreyas's knock that day, high quality knock against New Zealand, but it was also his lowest 50. Now that tells you that things can get extremely tough over there, and not every time. I don't want to put my batters in a difficult spot again. So if I win the toss, I have a feeling the team that wins the toss wouldn't want to bat first. Give your spinners the chance to bowl second.
Yeah, see, there isn't any dew. Okay, let's make one thing very clear. There is no dew in Dubai, and on that day, there will be cloudy conditions but no rain on March 9th. Okay. New Zealand, I mean, it's very difficult to establish the trend in this Champions Trophy whether chasing second or batting first is a big problem. I don't know what is the trend in Dubai.
See, the
Which is why
Indian
I'm
team has
luckily
been
not a
brilliant.
captain.
The Indian team
Yeah.
has been brilliant, no doubt about that, because against Pakistan as well, you thought, okay, Pakistan have won the toss. This is not what you wanted. Because of their part-timers, you want to bowl first, but that didn't happen. They did bowl second, and then we saw that it was just exemplary batting from India that took you. Also, you got the chase master in your side, so that maybe also negates whatever teams can have as advantage bowling second. It sort of gets negated against Pakistan, who bowled you, or it was the man who you call the king.
Yes.
The other day as well in Dubai against Australia, that time also he is the one in another chase got you vital runs.
Yep.
So a little bit of that advantage teams get deprived of if Virat Kohli is there
Yeah.
and is there on song. I'm just saying on a bad day, if Virat Kohli goes out or gets out cheaply, what happens then? So just if I'm trying to cover all bases and I want one streak to end, maybe it's the toss streak and I want Rohit to decide what he wants to.
Yeah.
The
Maybe
feeling I get is
he may want to bowl.
He'd want to bat first.
Chase, you mentioned the factor na, chase master, knowing the target in front.
But then I'm circling my decision around one batter or maybe two at the
I think
moment.
ideally the Indian team would want to bat first only because of the same reason that the wicket gets slower in the second half. And I think if India wins the toss, they would want to bat first. But I don't think that in these Dubai conditions, toss is being such a big factor. There's definitely significantly more help in the second innings, but it is not that much that can actually decide the whole game. Definitely the fear factor, the pressure factor and the conditions. But I don't think that will make such a big difference. And that's why despite losing so many tosses, India is able to win the matches comfortably.
I'm just looking back in hindsight now because there were a couple of reprieves for Rohit Sharma. Virat Kohli got a massive reprieve
On
at 51.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if all those chances were taken, who knows? You
Yes,
were
yes.
30 of 30 or 32 of 30. Before that, 48 or 42. That's how the pendulum was swinging. So it was very close, that match.
Australia won.
Australia won. So I'm just saying, we talk about bad 30 minutes, bad 40 minutes. I don't want any of that.
And that was also when Australia's runs were cut short by Indian bowlers. Otherwise, they were set to make
See,
290 odd.
In the New Zealand group game, what happened was that the middle order totally froze against spin. They couldn't get time to adjust. You look at Daryl Mitchell, he had a, you may say, strike rate of 48. Williamson had a strike rate of 67.
They were not ready for four spinners, basically.
They weren't ready. So I think they will come prepared this time around also. But again, because India have adapted to the conditions in Dubai, they have been there ever since February 18th, 17th onwards. They have been there only. So that is why they know the conditions, they know what is going to be there. And yes, they haven't practiced in Dubai International Cricket Stadium. They practice at ICC Academy most of the time. Okay, but you can replicate the conditions there also. And again, depending on the nature of the wicket, if it is like the one that you had in the game versus Bangladesh or against Pakistan, then I think chasing makes a whole lot of sense. And you have chased 3 times in this Champions Trophy and have won out of 4. You only defended against New Zealand. So that is why I think it still remains a chasing when you look at the broader picture. 3 matches you have won while chasing. So 75% of the matches for India in this Champions Trophy have been won while chasing. You chased against Bangladesh, you chased against Pakistan, you chased against Australia. And that you chased on 265, 250 plus. So either the pitches, although sluggish, might not pose that much of a threat going ahead. India's spinners, on the other hand, you don't need rank turners or sandpits. Just bowl straight. Varun bowls straight, Akshar bowls straight, Jadeja bowls straight. Kuldeep, yes, he needs a bit of help, but then he also can have the slider. 3 bowlers bowling straight means your run scoring becomes curtailed in a big, big way. Which is why I think if India bat first, yes, scoreboard pressure could ensure that the Kiwis are hurt. But remember, even a Kane Williamson is there who can calculate the target. Yes, he had 1 off day. Having 2 off days, I don't know. He can calculate, yes, I will have to bat in this tempo, let the others do it. Because both times in the World Cup also, New Zealand defended but couldn't. They tried to chase, they couldn't. So they are in a catch-22. Whatever they do, it is not working for them. So whatever is their strongest suit, look at it. They defended against Pakistan, chased against Bangladesh, lost to India while chasing, but they defended against South Africa. So 2 matches they have won while defending a total. So ideally the team that wins the toss, I think, should bat first. Just for scoreboard pressure. But for India's case, I would say bowl first. If you win the toss, bowl first. Looking at, it's a chasing venue. Dubai is a chasing venue. And that is why New Zealand had to be the only team to break that trend. They couldn't chase. So that is why. But, and also, in the Champions Trophy, no team has won against each other twice. And when you look at it, India-Pakistan, India couldn't chase. Australia chased against the West Indies and won. So even there is no trend as such. But scoreboard, in India's case, I think you have Virat Kohli. I think he'll be the difference. And Shreyas also can string that partnership. That Australia game gave you a template that yes, chasing, I think, is the way to go in Dubai. That's why I think bowl first, chase the total down, and seal your third Champions Trophy.
Okay, before we get into the questions, we talked about New Zealand's strength. One strength for India, especially against the opponent concerned.
I think it is the quartet, the spinning quartet.
Okay.
The spinning quartet, I think no one comes close to that. Yes, you have a Bracewell, Ravindra, Santner, Phillips, but they don't match up to the guile and the variety of Aksar, Jadeja, Kuldeep and Varun Chakravarti. And since all three of them bowl straight wicket to wicket, I think that is going to be the difference maker. That's why this quartet gives me the confidence that India can do it against New Zealand. That's the one mega strength for them.
According to me, I think it's Virat Kohli. I think it still stays Virat Kohli because we've seen he's played a very, very big role as far as scoring the runs is concerned. India's bowling was never that big a concern. It was always India's batting, and that concern also started since the time Virat Kohli went out of form. But this Virat Kohli at this point of time looks the same old Virat Kohli, and he's starting to show the same shades of brilliance that he used to show. He's in the same flow. He's calculating the game extremely well. He knows how to go about the chase. Even Gautam Gambhir told us that when everything was under control, there was not even one moment where the Indian team would have felt that maybe this game can be slipped away, and neither did we, because we knew that there was a certain Virat Kohli standing over there. And I think the glimpses of him coming back into form was in the Pakistan game. So I think just the fact that Virat Kohli is there, everybody knows, everybody is able to play his natural game as well. What differentiates Virat Kohli also apart from his legendary batting skills is that Virat Kohli makes people play with him. Because he was there, Shreyas Iyer was able to play his shots. Because he was there, KL Rahul was able to go full throttle and play the aggressor's role, and because that also suits him. So because there's a certain Virat Kohli, you know that it's total, even a below par total you would not have been able to chase if Virat would have gotten out in the Australia game. So maybe you would have that, but again, the main anchor of that innings was Virat Kohli. So till the time Virat Kohli is there and he's in full swing, I don't think India won't be able to chase it because he's just calculating so well. And he's more than that. I think he's just in his element, back in his element. As soon as he's come back to ODI cricket, I think he's just showing me the same glimpses. It feels like Virat was never out of form. The way he's starting to bat again, the same shots that he used to play, the same way to approach the innings. So that's why, according to me, even more than the spinners, I think it is Virat Kohli. And Shreyas to an extent too.
For me, India's strength, I think, will lie in its spin. For a reason, you went with the spinners for the T20 World Cup. For a reason, you picked all these spinners in this World Cup as well. And really, it was I think the New Zealand match only, which spinners had taken 9 wickets in. And that turned out to be the deciding factor as well, as far as that match goes. So I think again the match for India will be won or lost by the spinners. Huge responsibility, because we've seen even a Hardik, I think it was the New Zealand match only in which he bowled about 7 overs. So we've seen on a couple of occasions now that even Hardik is not completing his quota of overs, and this is when Hardik Pandya has now become your second pacer, your only second pacer in the side. So I think with the bulk of the bowling coming from your spinners, the match will again be won or lost, because crucial wickets, that's what your spinners are doing, especially an Aksar. In my eyes, he's done this team greater good than anyone talks about. He's getting you the big wickets. He's playing these cameos again. His numbers will not be as big as Virat Kohli's or Shreyas Iyer's right now. His numbers are, but they have its way. Those numbers have their value in weight in gold as well, because the cameos. Look at that 20 odd in the second game, then a 42 against New Zealand. So his performances are just they slip under the radar, but they're so very effective, because that 42 or that 20 odd that he scored against Australia as well, almost run a ball, if memory serves me right. So he's just relieving the other person on the other side of pressure, and he's getting the big wickets as well. So hats off to what he's done so far.
I mean, to add to Shashwat's point about Shreyas Iyer, I mean, he averages 70 against New Zealand in ODIs. He averages 70, which is the best that he averages against any team.
To add more to that, he has the second highest runs in this edition
Yes.
against spinners. And he's only about a few runs short of the man who's.
I think
right
he's one of the
above.
highest run scorers as well.
That we'll have to. I
He,
think it is
the tournaments,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think he is the fourth highest.
Yeah, one of that's. I think
So,
I think
he's
he's
right
the
in the
highest
top.
Indian, if I'm not
No, Virat is
No,
the
no,
highest
Virat
Indian.
will be the
So
highest,
at 222, 223, I believe is.
No, it's Duckett,
is
Duckett, 227, Rachin, Root, Kohli, Zadran, and then Shreyas.
Yeah.
Shreyas is
So fifth or sixth, that's what
Sixth,
I
sixth,
remember.
Yeah.
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 And Rachin's only one run behind Ben Duckett.
Which he will.
yeah, and Virat is also just 10,
15,
10,
16.
10 runs short.
10 runs. Yeah, he will hopefully.
Even
over-
Shreyas is not too far behind. He's 195 and Duckett is 227.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not too
So
far
that's-
behind.
No, go to most runs. That's the thing, not highest scores. Yeah. Duckett, yeah. So 1 run. Root also, his Champions Trophy is done. Kohli, yeah, he'll also get awarded. And Shreyas, 195. So he's about 20 runs, 32 runs behind.
32 behind Duckett.
Behind Duckett, yeah. So that's why it looks very interesting. But yeah, 70 average against New Zealand. 6 50 plus scores in 8 innings that he's played against New Zealand. And if you look at his ICC record, 72. Because 33, 105.
He's
70.
really had
79, sorry. Yeah.
a very good impact on the team.
Yeah, golden bat, golden ball for the highest
That's
run
with
getter
Matt
and highest-
Henry.
Yeah. That's with Matt Henry at the
And
moment.
Shami is second with 8
Shami's
wickets.
second with
8
eight.
wickets, yeah.
Chakravarti's got
7, third. He's third.
Yeah, so who knows? It could be India sweeping the charts yet again, like how it happened in 2013. So yes, India are on the cusp.
That time it was Dhawan.
Dhawan and Jadeja.
Dhawan and Jadeja with the golden bat and the golden ball, and India achieved the Champions Trophy win for the first time, undisputed. Yes, it will be a third title, but always remember there is an asterisk.
2023 World Cup as well. You topped the charts then also. But
Yes, both bat and ball.
that's what.
Second also both bat and ball.
Yeah.
Do Shami and
Shami Virat.
Shami Virat, yeah.
Chami Virat Rohit it was, and
Shami Bumrah.
no, Bumrah was, I think there was a gap then.
There was a gap.
Bumrah did win something as well.
He might have won a player of the match or something, was some particular incident, but I think see it was Shami for sure, topping the
Yeah,
charts with the ball.
24 or 25 wickets.
24 wickets. In
Player of
6
the tournament
Shami
was
at,
Virat.
Bumrah was a 19.
Player of the tournament then was Virat, right?
Yeah, Virat was the player. Yeah, Varun could get it, yes, because he's got a good record against New Zealand. First game he played against them got 5 wickets. So yes, the guy from Tamil Nadu could do it for this time around when you look at the Champions Trophy. So yes, Danush is like saying, VK first non-Australian 4 ICC trophies including World Cup on Sunday if he wins that.
But yeah, let's not count our.
Yeah, because I think Steve Smith has won 2 and a T20 World Cup, but he's won the WTC. Virat hasn't won the WTC yet, but he's won 2. He's won a T20I, 2 Champions Trophy he does, and he's won the World Cup in 2011. Yes. Gautam Krishna, Shreyas Iyer for captain. Any thoughts? I think.
ODI.
Let's
I
see.
think he's talking ODI.
I think his testing ground will be his captaincy with Punjab Kings. Only after that, maybe a call will be taken. Yeah.
See, a lot depends on Sunday, firstly.
But see, is he going to overtake a Shubman Gill?
Yeah, that's an issue.
That's an issue. See, maybe he could be the vice captain. Then I
No,
think if Shubman
Vice
Gill
to
is.
Shubman.
Huh? No, I think, see, once Rohit retires, Shubman is the captain.
No, but if you end up losing this tournament and then you have to make a captain right now, then it's Shreyas is ahead of Shubman. No, if right now, if today you have to
Even
make
then,
a
I think
captain.
Shreyas is behind, I think. See, for far too long, everyone knows this. It's an obvious truth now in Indian cricket. Shubman Gill is your blue-eyed boy.
Yeah.
So, and he's the vice captain right now.
Yep. I know. I don't think it. But Hardik, I think.
Hardik, yeah, for
I think he's fallen behind for no fault of his. I think he was very unfairly treated for whatever has happened.
absolutely fit guy.
Fit guy. He was ideal. He was ideal as the captain, but I think the politics that was played out at that time. in
Not
the
just
Indian
politics
cricket
again.
ecosystem-
Why I said fitness was for a reason, because that's the reason many reports suggested that he was looked beyond. Now, if that's the thing, you better hold this argument for a Jasprit Bumrah as well.
Yeah.
Because if Jasprit Bumrah is in line to be your next red ball captain, then you can't be having double standards.
It is
Nothing
different.
against Jasprit Bumrah. This is about Indian cricket maintaining standards.
Different strokes for different folks. That's
Yeah.
what I would say. Hardik was given the wrong end of the stick because of the politics that was played at that point in time, by the new change of regime, by everything else. Hardik was a good captain. You didn't give him long enough rope for that, and that will always be debatable about why you didn't give Hardik Pandya such a long rope. He was an IPL winning captain out of no fault.
And a finalist the following
A
year.
finalist, plus there is no doubt and no reason, and he didn't do anything wrong for getting the Mumbai Indians captaincy. He didn't do wrong because he got it out of his own merit.
Vice captain in T20 World Cup.
Vice captain, and ensured that yes, he won you that match in the final over, and that's why.
I think he will come back as a
Hope so. See, he's going to captain Mumbai Indians, and I think there'll be this farce that happened in 2024 won't be repeated. I think we have a united Mumbai Indians.
No, and a message has been sent out to the players as well that the nonsense that happened last year,
Exactly.
the factionalism cannot be happening
It
all
cannot
over
happen.
again because the franchise suffered.
Yep. Ashwin, till now Rohit played 498 international matches. CT final will be his 499 match. Will he play 500 matches? CT final will be his last international match, irrespective of the results. See, if he wins the CT, then I think you can expect an announcement like June 29th.
No.
I doubt Siddhartha. I think his heart is really set on the ODI World Cup.
Maybe.
The fire within is still there
See,
for
I
both
don't know-
Virat and Rohit.
Yeah, I don't know about his test results. I really don't know. But he might, I don't know. Because see, if you want to go out on a high, and if you believe Rohit doesn't play for milestones, then I think that is the
See, you
moment.
could even a Misbah extended his career right beyond 40.
But then
Well,
he
it's not
came
about
late.
the milestone, it's the milestone for the country.
It's not a personal milestone.
Because see,
In Virat's case, you could say it's a personal milestone also that he is chasing. But for him as well, I think that second world title, and these are not my words, these are Virat's words.
Yep.
He said that, he was too young in the team to realize what had happened in 2011 with Sachin and Yuvraj and Harbhajan, all of these guys crying around him. He was still too young for him to realize what had happened, and now he says he knows what it takes to get to that trophy. So maybe Virat also, as a senior member of the team and a former captain, now wants to have that winning feeling. One of the regrets for him will be that by the time he got into his own and became the cricketer that he is right now, he couldn't get his hands on the trophy. He had to walk past it on 2 occasions.
Yep. So it could happen. I mean, we don't know. Because for me, I know that yes, T20 World Cup win, but honestly, I thought they could have still played on, but they won the title, retired on a high. I thought
There was a lot being said.
I know
There was a
that.
lot being said in the build-up to the Champions Trophy.
Champions Trophy, yep.
Let's not try to put the dust under the carpet.
For Champions Trophy, but I'm not T20 World Cup. When I thought,
They could have gone beyond.
I think
No.
Well, let's see, because you both won
The demands of the game have changed
In
now.
T20 cricket.
I expected them to announce it much later, but not after immediately winning the.
No, but you were not expecting them to play. No, you were
I
expecting
wasn't
them to
expecting
announce
them
it
to
later.
Just the announcement.
Yeah, I thought they
Oh.
would announce it much
I
later.
think if they would have lost, they would have announced later, but the moment was perfect to announce it.
Yeah. Priyanshu was saying it would be the end of the Kohli Kane thing, but would be starting of Gill versus Rachin. 7 contenders for Golden Bat: Rachin, Iyer, Virat, Latham, Young, Gill, Kane. Pick one. I pick Iyer, seeing his record against New Zealand. I think it should be Rachin.
Then they are winning.
Huh?
Then they'll have to win the championship.
No, not necessary. I mean, if you score well, but your other 10 members don't do well, then you will lose. Na? So, Freaking Awesome is saying Santner isn't a threat to India in terms of taking wickets in ODIs, 15 wickets in 24 ODIs. But India need to bat cautiously against Henry and Jamieson. We shouldn't let them score 260 as a bat first. Yes, Henry scored a good
Well,
record
if they
against
get
India.
even close to 260, I can tell you, Freaking Awesome will be in for a match.
Yep. Kiran Khatri is like saying, hi, NZ are playing street smart. India should surprise them by playing Arshdeep, that means he's saying. They'll be, can we go down? Yeah. They'll be better prepared for Varun as well. Kulcha is poor in knockouts. Kuldeep Yadav, Kulya. So Arshdeep and Shami, in my opinion, is Nikhil covering the final. Well, I don't think they're going to change the playing 11. I think they will
I
not.
doubt
We
it.
changing a playing 11
No.
of our coverage. Nikhil sir covering it from ground, he's asking.
Wait and watch. We don't know.
Yeah.
We wait.
A
and
little
watch.
suspense over that.
There is a suspense over that. So let's see. And
Gautam
Vaibhav
Krishna
Taragi.
also says Shreyas for captain.
Yeah,
We've
but
taken-
Vaibhav Taragi, we'll end it with that. Depressive fact, NZ played 2 ICC finals with India and both won in 2000 and CT and 2021 WTC. Hope gods of fortune be kinder to us this time. Well, I have said that India are the favourites and I will stick with that. They are the favourites at this point in time. So I think what happened on June 29th has taken the monkey off their back. And that's why I think they will play well. And that's why you may see India win the Champions Trophy for the third asterisk time. Yeah. 2002 was
Also,
shared.
it'll be an interesting trend. Just realized every decade of this century, you won a Champions Trophy.
Yes, 2002. Then you won in 2013, and but Australia won an ICC event for the last 5 decades.
Yes.
87, 99, 2003, 2007, 2015, 2021, 2023.
Your World Cup.
And
Well,
WTC.
the World Cup decade thing ain't happening. In succession.
It's succession that's not happening.
Yeah.
Yep. Or it could happen. I mean, 20.
World Cup, Siddharth.
Even World Cup.
50 over.
Yeah. I mean, you could
You
win it
in
2027.
And
I mean, 11 you won. So 2 decades now, back to
3.
back.
So this is 3 I'm saying, na.
So you didn't win in the 2000s.
Exactly. So
You didn't win in the 2000s. Yep.
Yeah.
90s you didn't win. So,
90s
yep.
you didn't win.
Yep. So Rahul, Dravid, Vinod. Irrespective of result, Rohit should relinquish his captaincy. Iyer and Aksar brought fresh air of assurance in knockouts, with Bath otherwise crumbling under pressure. Iyer should be next captain, not Gill. That is what
Okay.
he maintains. So yes, we are building up now to the final of the ICC.
Rahul Dravid,
Vinod.
checkmate.
Checkmate. Same comment. I think copy paste. Yes. Are you
Either
commenting
copy paste or multiple accounts of the same person.
from same person? Yes. Yep. Kohli needs 46 more runs, freaking also to be the highest run scorer in Champions Trophy. Yeah. True. That was the case. So, if you notice, Kiwi fielders, if Hitmonk is saying, deliberately slowed down so that Miller could finish his 100. What a moment! Miller, a tragic story.
There's something interesting that's that people are talking about on social media, that one of the spectators in fact ran away with the ball after Miller hit a 6.
Oh yes, that's why there was a hold up for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes they couldn't spot the ball where it had gone. Oh. Pakistan, yeah. Yes. So should we call it a day, folks? And
Nandri time.
Yep, it's Nandri time. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this dugout. We are building up to the ICC Champions Trophy final. 9th March, New Zealand versus India. It's going to be a cracker from me, Shashwat and Harshit. It is bye-bye, Nandri, Vanakkam, Shubhratri, Shabba Khair, eat your vegetables.
And don't trouble your mother.
Yep,
Bye-bye.
you can enjoy the WPL action that's going on. Bye-bye.